Each UFO encounter has something new to teach us about the UFO phenomenon. And this is especially true with cases of face-to-face contact with humanoids. The 12 cases presented here span many decades and come from across the planet, and yet they show both remarkable commonalities and intriguing unique aspects. So many independent witnesses, so many different kinds of extraterrestrials, so much evidence, and most importantly, so many cases. The truth can no longer be denied. The It's on the platform. On July 25, 1938, in the middle of a civil war in Guadalajara, Spain, 2 military officers observed a disc-shaped object descend a short distance away. To their amazement, a platform extended from the craft, containing 2 humanoids. Unfamiliar with the idea of UFOs, the men first thought it was a secret Russian military craft. Before long, they would change their minds. The Crouching Alien. It was quitting time on September 5, 1954, as 12-year-old John Jacob Swaim finished plowing the wheat field of his family farm in Coldwater, Kansas. Then he saw a 3-foot-tall little man staring at him. He ran after the little guy, who flew over to a large craft landed nearby. The craft quickly darted away. Afterward, hundreds of tiny footprints were found in the field. The peaceful E.T. In June of 1967, Franjo Friedel was trimming trees in his backyard in Croatia and saw what he first thought was a uniformed soldier. Then the figure approached and Franjo saw that it was a strange 4-foot-tall humanoid. The ET said he wanted to make further contact with Franjo, that Franjo would be at peace, and told him to tell no one. The ET ran into a landed saucer, which took off and was gone. 3 little spacemen. Around 9 p.m. one evening in October 1967, Donald Marshall was walking to his home in Melford, Saskatchewan, Canada. Behind his home, he saw a strange light, and then realized it was actually a window attached to a craft landed in his backyard. That's when he saw 3 little humanoids running around. They ran into the craft, which took off, breaking off branches and trees as it left. "Hey you, aliens!" Early in the evening of April 26, 1969, David Erachuk took his dog Brandy for a walk near his home in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Brandy was the first to stop and look up at a strange craft floating about 20 feet high. A strange odor filled the air. David then noticed 2 humanoids standing near the craft. His dog freaked out and demanded to go home. Upon returning shortly later, the craft was gone. The Willard UFO Wave. On the evening of January 22, 1971, the phones at the police station near Willard, Ohio, rang off the hook with callers reporting UFOs. Among the dozens of witnesses was a young couple who said the UFO hovered 100 feet over their car. And inside, through a transparent central dome, they saw a strange humanoid. So many other people saw the craft that the case could not be debunked. Encounter causes nervous breakdown. Around 4:30 a.m. on September 9, 1972, a man observed a low-flying craft near his home in Glasgow, Scotland. Looking down at him from a round porthole of the craft, he saw a blonde-haired humanoid wearing a silver suit. Although it was a brief encounter, the man was so traumatized that following the encounter, he suffered a nervous breakdown. The Tall Silver Man. It was early afternoon on July 10, 1975, as the Taylors drove near Ulo Clwyd in Wales. To their shock, they saw a 7-foot-tall humanoid wearing a full-body silver jumpsuit picking up things alongside the road. At first, fearing ridicule, they kept their encounter secret. But then other people began to report seeing the same strange being. Extraterrestrials on Mount Everest. In 1933, Frank Smythe was climbing Everest when he saw 2 curious-looking objects hovering overhead. Later, other climbers saw UFOs, including Reinhold Messner and Doug Scott. Jan Scott, Doug's wife, was at base camp and said everyone there saw the UFOs. And one time, a UFO came so low, she saw humanoids through the window. The Injured Humanoid. Late at night on June 12, 1977, David X stepped outside a hotel in Crystal Lake, Illinois, and saw 3 4-foot-tall humanoids approaching him. They wore uniforms and clear helmets. He first thought they were coming for him. Then he saw another humanoid lying on the ground only a few feet in front of him. That's when he realized that the ETs were there to rescue their fallen comrade. Robotic Alien at Atomic Installation. On the night of March 18th, 1978, Ken Edwards was driving by an atomic installation not far from his home in Risley, England. He brought his car to a stop when he saw a silver-suited figure with outstretched arms walk into the middle of the road. Ken was struck by a beam of light, which fried his radio. The figure walked through a fence and disappeared. Soon events became even more bizarre. Reptilians over Electric Station. In the fall of 1990, 2 residents from St. Clair, Canada, drove by an electric power station and saw a strange teardrop-shaped UFO cross the road ahead of them and hover over the station. To their shock, they saw 2 reptilian humanoids looking down at them through an open-air platform. Both felt almost entranced, and one of them heard a mental message: "Do not stay here. Go away." These 12 humanoid encounters show how bizarre UFO encounters can be, and that we still have much to learn about ET contact and the ET agenda on our planet. Yet they make it very clear that we are not alone and that we have been visited for a very long time.